right, don't look now, but there are a lot of good books coming out this week. Let's talk about the ones on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video where I tell you about the books that are coming out this week, what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list that I've been making a game day decision on. Now, this week, there are some good books coming out. This is not quite as heavy a week as last week, which is good because I spent too much money last week and I can make up some of that difference in the budget this week. So anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the book I'm most excited for this week. That is Static: Shadows of Dakota, issue number 4. Now, Shadows of Dakota, in my opinion, has been among the best titles since the whole Milestone Returns era started about 3 years ago. So this is season 2 of Static, in case you're keeping track, and it's written and drawn by Nicholas Draper Ivey, who was the artist on season 1 of Static. And there is some writing assistance there by Vita Ayala. How much assistance? I don't know, but she's there. They are there, and they're a co-writer. So anyway, Shadows of Dakota has been really cool. It's definitely a darker tone or a darker themed book than the last book, where the last book I would say was maybe emotionally dark at points. This book has just been straight up dark. It's borrowing some horror elements. We've got Ebon coming into comics for the first time since he debuted in the animated series way back in the 2000s. And they're really Nick is really using his power set to really just evoke horror between Ebon and this little shadow agency that's out here kidnapping bank babies. There's some pretty crazy stuff happening on panel. So really cool stuff. Nick has been promising that issue 4 is going to be among the best and most hard-hitting issues of the series. It's only a 6-issue mini, so I'm very, very excited to see what we've got in store. Last issue I feel like was a little bit lower on the action, even though it had good character development and good motivation development for Ebon. But I'm excited to see Ebon and Static in action. I believe that's what we're going to get in this issue. It's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A, but don't be surprised if I get more covers too. Next up on the DC Comics pull list is Action Comics issue 1055. Action Comics, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Rafa Sandoval, has been absolutely amazing. And in this issue, we're going to see the return of Cyborg Superman. Of course, Cyborg Superman made his debut way back during the Death of Superman event. Always a really cool looking character. I've not read the Death of Superman event. I've seen the Reign of the Superman movie. But other than that, I don't really have any experience with Cyborg Superman aside from thinking he's got a cool character design. So I'm excited to see what he's like in this issue. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the DC Comics pull list from Joshua Williamson is Green Arrow issue number 2. Now, Green Arrow number 1 was a very good debut issue. It was basically a Arrow family reunion, if you want to call it that. One moment in particular, I think will make Green Arrow or longtime Green Arrow fans really happy. So if you didn't check out issue 1 and you're a Green Arrow fan, go back and grab that. It was really good. It was still good for me as a newer Green Arrow reader. I thought it established pretty well what's going on, where Ollie is, where Ollie is and where the team is trying to locate Ollie. So we've got this whole all the stakes are set, all the stage is set. The surprise appearance that we got in issue 1, we're going to see more of that in issue 2, I believe, because we've got Ollie teaming up with this surprise person. And I think it's really interesting so far. A strong first issue. I'm definitely down to see where this series goes. It was just extended to be 12 issues and not just 6. So it's going to be good if you're a Green Arrow fan. Cover price on this one is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my DC Comics pull list this week from Tom Taylor is Nightwing, issue 104. So my criticism of Nightwing has always been that it feels like it's moving slow, but it's deceptively slow because it's like each issue has a good amount of action on its own. But when you take a step back and look at it over the macro, and it's like, all right, well, how far do we really advance the overall plot? And you're like, it seems like we should be further along than this. But doesn't really matter to me because, like I said, every issue is enjoyable. So Olivia, who is the daughter of a Nightwing villain that you may not expect, I'll let you go back and read to see what's going on with that, basically has been kidnapped. And so the Teen Titans, or the Titans as they're now known, are trying to save her. And to do that, they're going to have to go somewhere unexpected. So really cool stuff. I've been enjoying Nightwing. Like I said, I think with so many other books having so much going on, every time I look at Nightwing, I feel like there's not as much happening as there should be. But then when I read it, it's still fun. Weird. It's weird. But cover price on this book is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. By the way, there is a backup story in this. Typically, if you see a DC book at $4.99 or more, there is a backup story. But the backup story has Nightwing and John Kent trying to solve a murder mystery at the circus. So cool stuff. I think no matter what kind of Tom Taylor story you're looking for, whether you're looking for like a fast pace, some action, or you're looking for like that slow character work, you get both of those in this book. So cool stuff there. And that's it for the DC Comics on my pull list. So if I just stick to the list, my DC books will cost me $18 this week. Now let's move over to Marvel Comics, where for the first time that I can remember, there are no Marvel books on my pull list, but there is one book that made the maybe list, and that is Storm #1 from Ann Nesenti, art by Sid Kotian. Honestly, I don't really grab these books where it's like some classic Marvel writer gets to do a little Elseworld story. It's not even really Elseworld. It's just a story featuring a character that they're known for working on in a time period where they're known for working on them from. So this Ann Nesenti issue or miniseries has Storm rocking a mohawk leading the X-Men. So because I haven't gotten to the Mohawk Storm era of Chris Claremont's X-Men yet, I feel like this just wouldn't resonate with me as much as it'll resonate with someone else. The only reason I would buy this, since it's a light week, is because that cover, I don't know which variant it is. There's a cover by Art Germ, and it just looks really good. So I'd probably buy the Art Germ cover just to have a cool cover in my collection, but I'm not picking up the series. So that's on the maybe list. If I did buy it, it'd be what? $4.99, I think? That's another reason not to, because why is it $5? Anyway, nothing on the Marvel pull list this week. Let's move on to the indies, where the first book on the list is The Ambassadors, issue #5. The Ambassador is written by Mark Millar or Mark Miller. Miller, whatever. Each issue of this series has a different artist. This has art by Mr. Buffagni. I should have looked up his first name. So let's look. All right. Ambassadors, issue #5. Matteo Buffagni, who is an artist that I'm not super familiar with. I can't even lie. I'm just looking to see what other stuff he's worked on. He's done some stuff on Daredevil, Spider-Man, X-Men, a lot of Marvel work. I've just never seen his work. So interesting stuff. This series basically is like Willy Wonka for adults with superpowers and other adult things going on. It's been pretty cool. I really only grabbed the series because I was really curious to see the Olivier Coipel art for issue 4. Still haven't picked that up from my comic shop, so I'm officially behind as of issue 4. But hey, it's still a cool story. So it'll be done in 2 weeks, because they're dropping 3 issues a month for some reason. So anyway, Ambassadors issue #5 has a cover price of $3.99, and I'm grabbing cover A. Now, the next book is the book that I'm probably most excited for on the indie side, and that is Darkwing Duck, issue #5. So Darkwing Duck is written by Amanda Dibert with art by Carlos Sid Loro. And dude, every issue has been knocked out of the park, 10 out of 10. All the nostalgia for me. Each issue feels like an episode of Darkwing Duck. You've got the fast pace with more action. You've got the slower ones where Darkwing is trying not to pull out the Darkwing costume and work that way. You got some interpersonal work with him and Morgana. Like there's so many things to look at this series and love it for. But if there's one word I got to use to sum it up, it's just fun. It's a fun book. And look, this issue should be no different. So this issue, we're going to see the return of Foul, the organization run by the evil Dr. No Good. Man, even just describing the plots of each issue is it's just a blast from the past. I am a kid again watching reruns of Darkwing Duck all on ABC network television. So for that, the series is just amazing. By the way, when Dybert was doing interviews saying like, oh, this is what the series is, we were told that this was just going to be a 6-issue mini, but there's already an issue 7 being solicited. And the same for Gargoyles. So I don't know if those series have just gotten extended. I don't know when they're going to end, but they're going past 6 issues and I am all the way here for it. Anyway, Darkwing Duck issue 5's got a cover price of $3.99. Probably not grabbing that cover A, which means I'm likely going to grab the Mirka and Dolfo cover B. And the last book on the indie pull list for the week, another feel-good book. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo Where When, issue number 3. So this series, aside from just being a fun series featuring the Ninja Turtles and Usagi, is also serving as basically my first entry into any sort of Usagi Yojimbo storytelling, even though I own a great majority of what's been collected of Usagi. I've just never read it up until now. So this series is written and drawn by Stan Sakai. It features the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles following the evil Dr. Werewin into not another dimension, but across space and time barriers. So basically, the Turtles tried to grab Dr. Werewin. He escaped into feudal Japan at some undisclosed time period. The Turtles followed him where they met up with Usagi and his gang. And we come to find out that Dr. Werewin he landed in the same place as the Turtles, but years ahead. And so in issue 3, we're going to see basically the Turtles and Usagi and his friends up against the machinations of Dr. Werewin with like 25 years of prep time. So all in all, if I had to describe this series in one word, it's charming. Like I'm really enjoying learning more about Usagi Yojimbo. And I love that this was set in Usagi's world and not the reverse where it was just Usagi finds his way into New York. Cause I feel like I know enough about the Turtles. So anyway, this has been a fun series. I've been really enjoying it. It's got a cover price of $4.99 and I'm grabbing the cover B by Kevin Eastman. And with that, that's the last book on my pull list this week. The indie books are going to cost me $13 for a grand total before taxes and my subscriber discount of $31. So look, last week I was over budget by 10. This week I'm under budget by like 20. This is great. This is great. It balances out. So you don't ever have to panic. You shouldn't ever panic. When you're looking at your final totals, just make sure your month averages out. I think we're in a good spot for May on to looking at June release dates. Because I still, even with the savings this week, I know I've got way too many titles on the pull list to keep up with regularly. So with all that said, what's on your pull list this week? What are you most excited to read? If you're a Milestone fan, what have you been thinking of Static Shadows of Dakota? Have you been loving it as much as I have? Because I've been really loving it. And for those Marvel fans that are here in the audience, which Marvel books are you picking up this week? Because I literally looked through everything and there's nothing that I was crazy interested in. And I'm only mildly interested in the Storm book. So let me know what you're grabbing from Marvel. And yeah, that's going to do it for me this week. Huge thanks to the channel family for making content on this channel possible, supporting with your dollars and making it so that I can still have a pull list. That's amazing. Huge shout out to you. You are the real MVP. I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Till then, stay classy and make sure you're reading something dope today. Peace.